There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.
Greetings, and we say namaste. This is gotkushTV. We've always got something new for you. I just came here today for a meeting at our offices, and an interview is here before us. We have this interview with Esther Stanford Jose. Okay, she is part of the reparation movement. We're going to go a little bit further into that conversation. We're going to be talking about the work that's been done so far as part of reparations, and you know, what the result of reparations are and how you can get involved with the reparation movement. So let's speak about this day of reparations, where we're going to have a march, and we're trying to get as many people to turn out as possible. We want those peoples sitting in their high powers, or the principalities of wickedness sitting in their high places, to be able to look down and say, there's a stirring of those people. They're serious about this. That's the only reason they take you serious. They don't take you serious when they don't see you. People's movements don't mean anything if they don't see the people. It only works if the people. I say this, we say this, we don't only come to church, but we say, on my radio show, I say regular, look, if you don't want to get involved with us, then there's many other organisations which are working for the benefit of liberation of our people. We're happy, we work with all of them. We're not doing that, we've got some, you're doing some. No, we work with all of them for the benefit of our people. They're working for the benefit of our people. We say, if you don't want to get involved with us, our gloves don't fit you, then try somebody else's gloves. But get involved with something, because organisations cannot work if they don't have people. The people, an organisation is just a name. The people, which is what make it happen, okay? And especially if organisations are structured and deliver that which they say we're going to deliver. So let's look at this march here. If you can give us a little bit of information in regards to this march.
Absolutely. The African Emancipation Day Reparations March is taking place on Saturday the 1st of Mosiah, otherwise known as August for some, in 2015. We will meet 11 AM at Windrush Square in Brixton, London. And we will then proceed to march in orderly fashion and in a unified assembly of our people. We will march to Parliament. Now, the 1st of August is commemorated as Emancipation Day, especially in the British colonised Caribbean and some parts of Africa, Ghana and South Africa, and some other countries have commemorated it. And it's the day that we as a people resisted the chattelisation phase of the Maangamizi. And the 1st of August in 1833 was when supposedly we were emancipated. But we were not emancipated because we still had to work as apprentices more or less for free. Yes? But we commemorate, and we've continued, our people have continued to commemorate this day. It's important for us to commemorate this day because we have to honour our ancestors, honour our foreparents, but also to not forget. We don't have the right to forget the fact that many of us, especially this broadcast taking place in London, we are in England, and it was in the British Parliament that they legislated to compensate the enslavers for the loss of their so-called chattel, which was our people, who were not chattel. We were human beings, but we became chattelized, yes? So we must not forget this, because the wealth that was generated from the colonies was huge. It fueled the Industrial Revolution. It helped to make Britain an empire, so-called Great Britain. So there is a debt. It's not just a financial debt, it's a moral debt, it's a cultural debt that is owed to our people. And so we march, but we march with purpose and with intention. Now, the march happened for the first time in this way last year, and it was fantastic for many of us that were on the march. And we decided, well, some of us decided we would continue this march. And in fact, in truth, last year it was agreed by consensus, by all of the people that participated, that we would march annually on the 1st of August. And accompanying this march is a companion project, which is a campaign and petition called Stop the Maangamizi, We Charge Genocide, Ecocide. And the Stop the Maangamizi, I've explained what Maangamizi means. It means Holocaust or hellacaust of chattel, colonial and neo-colonial enslavement. We cannot truly repair anything if the damage is still continuing. The war against us, the war on terror, has never ended for our people. Right. So we're not yet even in a position to truly repair until we stop the damage. And that's why it's a red traffic light. Stop the Maangamizi. That is to us. We're speaking to us. Because many of us are like turkeys looking forward to Christmas. We're literally sleepwalking into this abyss, yeah? And because we might be able to buy nice clothes, or we might drive a nice car, or we think we live in a nice place and we might have a standard of living that is like the Caucasians, we think we're doing okay.
Listen, I have this on my show regular, www.supremefederalive.com. Every single Monday, 9 to 11, I'm beating the same drum by myself. I'm constantly speaking out about this forced perception of freedom, which black people think they have. The fact that, you know, I can drive a little car, I can get around, I've got a little job, and you're okay. You're not okay. There's nothing okay about it. There's nothing about wanting to remain. That's like Jews saying they want to stay in Nazi Germany.
Exactly.
There's nothing okay about that. As a matter of fact, it's something not right in the head to continue thinking like that. But this shows the power of the spell which they've cast over our people. And this is not just amongst people who we would term as being asleep. I'm saying this spell is amongst many of the conscious movement, and even more dangerous amongst the conscious movement, because they feel they got the answers. But that's another that's another subject.
So yes, we're stopping the Maangamizi, and that is a demand to ourselves as well, because we don't expect those who are benefiting from it to stop it. So it's an alarm bell that we're ringing. Become
aware, and at least, even if you're going to enjoy the pleasures of the environment that we're living in, because it is okay for you, that level, we say it like this. People say to us, well, you're a conscious movement, you move like a conscious movement as an organisation, but why are you a church? We say, look, there's conscious and there's conscientious.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. It's okay to be conscious, but it's also very important to be conscientious, meaning you must now start learning to care. And that's what spiritual or religious ideology is supposed to give people, that ability to help care.
With our character development, our moral development, our ethical principles.
If I'm unable, or if I can get involved, if I don't want to give up the things that I have, but I care enough to at least help other people to make a difference, to apply it, which I have the intellect to understand, but at least do that, you know, try to, you know, get involved. And if I saw last year's one, it's like a big dance on the way down there. You know, black people know how to march. You know, we know how to march. You know what we used to see in South Africa during the
yes, thing? Exactly.
People say, what kind of march is that? How would we kind of like, we're dancing up and think, what kind of march is that? But that's who and what we are as a people. And, you know, the march was a way, and it should be something where they know every year, just like everyone knows every year Carnival's coming.
That's right.
People should know every year this is coming, and they're going to turn out to, but this time they're not coming out to the street to dance, have a party. Well, it looks like a dance and a party, but there's a very, very strong message.
Absolutely. So I was talking about the petition and campaign, Stop the Maangamizi, We Charge Genocide, Ecocide, which really is a very important campaign. Why? Because even though we've gone through this program in talking about the beginnings, if you like, or our greatness and what we've got to get back to, we also have to recognize that for a lot of our people, we're living under some serious system, of downpression. And so those of us who have the privilege, if you like, to vision and to even go into researching our past and the greatness of our past, mustn't forget that for a lot of our people, they don't even have the luxury to study self. to reflect on self, to find out who they are, because they're so busy caught up in that struggle for survival.
Keep coming through the
Absolutely. And so the genocide, we are charging the British state with genocide against African people worldwide. This is something that we are called to do so that we do not allow perpetrators, the states and other culpable entities to get away with impunity, which is what they've been continuing to do. And our ancestors don't want us to forget, because we have to remember that many of them were killed, tortured for standing up so that we could have some of the little privileges that we have today. We don't have the right to deprive future generations of the basic freedoms that we enjoy. And we're in danger of perhaps being the only generation that is looting from our freedom account of our children and our children's children without replacing it, because each generation has to take their struggle a stage further.
So this is a petition, is it an online
petition?
It's
online. It is Stop the Maangamizi, spelled MAANGAMIZI. We Charge Genocide, Ecocide. It's important that we do this, as I've said. So we're asking people to go on change.org, where you can find the petition. The least you can do watching this program is to sign that petition. Everyone sign it, please. But we don't just want you to sign it, although we'll be very happy for you to sign it. We want you to read the petition. Don't just sign something and don't understand what it's saying. Read what it's saying, because it's saying that basically we are experiencing genocide as is defined by the 1948 Genocide Convention. We're not the only people to do that. This is the original We Charge Genocide petition that was developed in 1951 in the United States of America. And so all the deaths in custody, all the lynchings, all the terrorism that we experience, they've just got case studies. And we're beginning to compile that data so that we can even tell ourselves, those people who think, well, I'm all right, but don't realize what's going on around them. We have to document this for history. We have to record what is happening to us so that the truth can be told. Okay? And so on there, it links all the things that we're going through. And the petition talks about the denial of our people's sovereign peoplehood, in familyhood with our kith and kin. It talks about the violence on every level: epistemic violence, structural violence, sexual violence, racial violence. It talks about the destruction and the denial of the rights to our Mother Earth and for us to live in harmony. It talks about the expanding health, medical, prison, psychiatric, industrial complexes. It talks about the menticide that's happening, the destruction of our minds under the guise of education, which is really miseducation, the extractive industries, the free trade agreements, the privatization schemes, the economic partnership agreements that are being forced on countries in Africa and the Caribbean. It also talks about the denial of genomic food and seed sovereignty by enforcing GMO products, another way of nutricide. And the crimes against humanity inherent in the wars of aggression, as well as the proliferation of HIV, AIDS, Ebola, and other bioweapons. We are charging the British state with acts of genocide and ecocide. It's important because any group that has gone through any process of victimization, part of what that does is dehumanize us, where we begin to accept the oppression as normal. Part of us restoring our agencies to stand up and say we are conscious of what has been done and we are no longer going to take it. And we are reclaiming the right to define and shape law for ourselves, and we are charging you because we don't have to go by your laws. We had our own laws, and in our laws this is genocide, ecocide, humanicide, or any other term that we choose to call it. And part part of the reason why we want this petition signed is that we would like a debate in Parliament about the impact of the Maangamizi. Because it's not just our truth. This is a truth that must be told to the world and recognised by the world. And can you imagine if that was debated in Parliament, and in the petition it talks about an all-party parliamentary commission of inquiry. So we're not stopping there. We're saying we want an all-party parliamentary commission of inquiry for truth and reparatory justice, not truth and reconciliation. But if they push that in South Africa and it was good enough there, well then we're saying it's good enough here.
So let me ask you, if this petition is signed, you then have the right to move forward by that debate? We
do, to have the debate, and in the meantime we're engaging in parliamentary lobbying to get sympathetic parliamentarians and political parties who recognise the African liberation struggle, because there are some, to set up at least a task action group on the Maangamizi with a view to setting up a commission. And this will be a commission where there will be hearings, witnesses will be invited to give testimonies so that we can prove not only to the world but to ourselves, because many of our people are convinced that we're free. And we need to bring all of this research together to get a holistic picture about what is happening to our community. But the Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry is only one leg of the external demand. It is accompanied by a movement that is being developed to establish an international people's tribunal. The best legal opinions on reparations for enslavement reckon that no existing court can adjudicate our claim. There's no existing court, not the World Court, the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court. Why? Because these very structures are Eurocentric and are part of the Maangamizi. We need to set up our own, just like with the Nuremberg tribunals. You know, you didn't have Nazis trying themselves. They set up new justice systems. We need a new justice system.
Was it Mugabe saying that not too
yes, that exactly about the International Criminal Court, that they should move away from that. So the People's International Tribunal is a powerful measure, and we've called it the Ubuntu Gotla, and that's really based on the Gotlas that come out of the tradition in Botswana, which is our indigenous ways of doing tribunals and building consensus around what's happened. And we are linking with other peoples such as the Aboriginals, the indigenous peoples of the Americas, who have got similar problems to us, have gone through similar experiences, not the same, all struggling to reclaim sovereignty. So we're saying that the true international court would be a court that was made up of the original peoples of the earth.
Who have been...
And that is the People's International Tribunal. It's going to take a lot of international will to get this, but that is our strategy from the grassroots, and we are linking with these struggles. And we are saying that we can begin this tribunal by having local sittings, national sittings. We don't need to wait for anyone to do it. We need to become our own lawyers, our own advocates. We need to be teaching our children our story. We need to be rehearsing the arguments. We all need to be sharp on this. We need to be practicing, and we can be doing this so that everywhere we go in all of our communities, we are having these hearings. And what does that do? That begins to raise consciousness. It begins to raise the levels of education. Other people become aware because they've been miseducated about it. So these two strategies go together, and we have to remember we ought to go through this process. Why? Reparation is not just about what I think or you think. We are representatives of our family lineages. We have to go on a soul questathon back into our ancient memory to know how would the eyes, what would be the mind of our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers, great-great-great-great-grandfathers. What did they lose? So we are encouraging all of you, do your family research. Begin telling this story. Don't bury it as though some of our previous generations. Bring it up. Teach your children so that they can be aware of their great heritage, but also what they are being denied. And we bring this research together and be able to put this in the courtroom of public opinion.
In what you're saying, and it brings to mind, just this morning I woke up and my son, he's 6, and I had the iPhone there, and I was showing him clips and roots in Amistad. And I said, I made it clear to him that these are just movies. This isn't the real what really occurred. But I just wanted him to see, you know, the name, Kunta Kinte and the name, the Amistad, when they showed the little, how they was piling them on the ship and they was beating them, all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to see, like, these people, you go to school, these people. I'm not saying these, but these are the same. This mentality. I just wanted to make him clear. So I understand the importance of education at home. But we're moving into a time, as you're moving forward with this, which is great, but it's political. Because political means you can stay within an arena where you can't really be challenged unless they change political law, which is a great thing. But outside of that, you'll notice that they're changing law to make it, just what I done with my son this morning, that would be deemed some form of racism. Or they've got this new thing, you're creating some kind of terrorist mentality. When really I'm saying, when I'm showing my son history of what's occurred to us as a people, not for him to go and then carry out the same thing unto you, but to be aware. But they are now, you know, they had this thing in Waltham Forest the other day where they had this test where they was asking children, you know, who do you listen to in your community? And it was all very done in a way where they're trying to ascertain, so we can say, well, okay, we can go to social services, into these households. So they're aware that what's being done here, and you know, other organisations who are waking up and starting to deliver this information, they are now putting up their counter-offensive to this waking up of us as a people. And the reason I say this, people, if you think, well, that means why should I bother getting involved in this? No, it means that this is now the time where you must start getting involved. Because if you don't, you're going to get to a point where you're not going to have the ability to do this in the future. They're going to make it, the Leveson inquiry, so that you, you know, what broadcasts such as what we're putting out today becomes, well, is that really good material? We need to censor that before that goes on the thing. Now, Cameron and that are people getting into the internet. So we have to be very aware, but what is happening right now, don't leave this while getting involved in this in 10 years' time. We need to do things now. We need to get involved in things now. The sister has made it very, very clear. She's explained it very, very clear. The editing team, I know they're going to chop this up, but they're not going to chop it up where you're not going to see the full thing. They're going to chop it up so it comes at you in little bite sizes. The editing team are smiling at me now, thinking it's the presenter telling me my job. Yeah, but it's very important. But the conversation, what you've seen have here today between Esther and myself, the Coptic Minister, on GKTV, it's very important that you see this and utilise it as a tool to actually get involved in one form or another. There's an online petition. There's the march, which is coming up. Financially, can people support you financially?
I mean, people can. Where do people go? Well, I tell you what you do. If you're on Facebook, the March August is the Facebook page. You can contact us there. We do need help in terms of security, stewarding, first aiders, so you can call 0744 999 7120, or if you just want general information, 07880 439 383 or 07506 968 774. Really important to say that I missed out. We have a theme this year for the march, and it's a beautiful theme. Education is part of preparation for reparation. Before any of us rush to say, oh, we want this, we want that, let us educate ourselves as to what the issues are. We have to be highly educated, highly competent, highly literate from our perspective on our cause, so that we are unshakable in that sense. So use this time to increase your own knowledge and education, and then to educate those around you, your children, in your places of work, leisure, worship. We should be discussing different elements of how the Maangamizi is continuing to affect us, but also what we are doing to be part of the change. Ultimately, reparations will bring about a new world order. A new world order. It's not about tweaking the system. That's not reparations. It will be a new world. We have to be about what they call prefigurative politics, where we envision the new in the shell of the old and we begin acting and modelling the kind of change and behaviours that we wish to see and be. That is what is required of us. So it's not waiting for anyone to do anything for us. It is also about showcasing our own African people's grassroots initiatives on reparations and the self-repair, drawing attention to African people's global determination to not let the British state and other perpetrators get away with the crimes of the Maangamizi. We're also seeking to raise consciousness about the fact that all of the attacks upon us, of which it just seems to be open season on our people right now, we're going right back to direct killings of us, not the subtle racism and discrimination that so many talk about, but to recognise that all these attacks upon us in terms of both individual and collective instances amount to genocide in the Maangamizi continuity, necessitating reparations, because reparations is a right. It's a right and it is a remedy. Yes, not just for us, but for all peoples who've been harmed. We've got to assert our rights as all other human beings do. But it only happens if you are classified as being a victim. And I don't mean a victim in the sense of, oh, I'm down-pressed and I'm downtrodden, but a victim in law, which means that you have a right to an entitlement and we've got to access that. But we start from what's happening to us. And then we trace back these systems right back then to what happens throughout our generations. That's where the claim starts from, the continuing legacies and impact. Legally, that's how it has to be. We start from here. It's also about increasing awareness of the necessity to stop the Maangamizi in its current manifestations, such as austerity, the attempts to recolonize African, Africom and all of that, menticide and the deaths in police, psychiatric and prison custody. And I think finally, to demonstrate African people's strength, capacity and determination to speak our truth to and challenge establishment power with our growing grassroots power to effect and secure reparations on our own terms. Note, I did not say pay reparations. To effect, that puts us back in the driving seat as being the change makers and restoring our agency, our dignity and our humanity.
With that, I mean, what more can really be said? This has been a very, very, very powerful interview, and I would like to thank Esther for being here today and relaying that information to you. Seriously, when we say it's very important to take this very serious, GKTV exists here as a platform to get these messages across. We're here to create a new paradigm shift in black consciousness, and the way it's been done to us is by way of the media, and it's very important that we now utilize the media whilst we can to be able to change that paradigm shift. There are many, many people out there within our community. Our community is not stagnant. Not everybody in our community falls under the commerce or just consumers. There are very many active people within our community. Esther is definitely one of them. So, you know, we exist as a platform to try and change the minds of our people and the hearts to become more caring, more conscientious of things which may not affect you now. But we often say this, eternal life to us as African people, the seeking of eternal life wasn't found in some place in the sky, some spook worship where we thought we was going to go when we died, but was based on the simple fact that we recognize our progeny was our future. And that is what we used to live for, by way of our future. So we have to start thinking about our future, what our actions will do now, how they will impact our future and make a difference for our genealogy, make a difference for our children, so that we, our generations to come, do not have to suffer the same fate that we have as a people, and that this fight which is being taken place now along the journey will be a lot easier. But the only way it's going to be a lot easier is if you do something now. And we've had a great interview. As I said, you're going to be watching this in various different parts. It's going to come out. The editing team are going to do a great job and make sure that this sticks in your head for this very important reason. Education is preparation for reparations. That is the term being used. Education is preparation for reparation. So between now and this event, which is happening on Saturday the 1st of August 2015, that's Saturday 1st of August, or known as Saturday 1st of Mosiah, at 11 AM, Windrush Square, Brixton, London, UK. Yeah, no excuse why not to be there on the Saturday morning. If it's a case of you're going shopping, make sure you do your shopping, as it's open to very late on a Friday night. If you're going to spend time with friends and family, as I said, make it a family event. Get your packed lunch and march down there. Bring your children. Let your children see what we're about. But there is a movement happening amongst black people, just to let them see an abundance of black people in a non-dancing environment, meaning it doesn't have to be a carnival where you have to see a lot of black people moving in a procession. And if I remember last year, there wasn't a whole batch of police neither, was there?
No.
There was more police at the carnival when you had this event. So this is Saturday the 1st of Mosiah, 11 AM, Windrush Square, Brixton, London, UK, and it's a march to Parliament. If you are unable to make it, we hope you can make it. If you are unable to make it for any reason, then do check out www.change.org/p/stop the Maangamizi. That's MAANGAMIZI. We Charge Genocide, Ecocide, okay? Or go to the page Facebook, the March August. Is it Facebook? The March
Facebook.
August?
If you're on Facebook, it's just the March August. We're continually updating everyone as to what will be happening.
Okay, so please check that out. As I said, this is GKTV. We bring you this kind of television. It's very important in this day and time that our stories are told, not stories which just occurred in the past, but stories which are ongoing.
System and its ways, don't be afraid. Just be the change. And with all this people power, we'll use peace for power.